Evaluating functions means that we are going to take some given value and substitute it back in to the function that we are given. So when we read this out loud, we're saying given f of x. Remember, math is a language and we want to be able to translate it. So when I read this out loud, we say f of x equals x squared plus 5x minus 19. Determine f of 3. What that means is in place of the x value, we're going to substitute in the number 3. And again, if you didn't catch it out loud, I said f of 3. And what I'd like you to notice is that this 3 is in the exact same place as the x, which means everywhere I see an x, I'm going to put a 3 instead. Now, before we just go putting that number there, what I'd like you to do for your very first step is replace every x with a parentheses. Instead of writing the letter x, the variable x, we put parentheses instead. So f of x equals x squared plus 5x minus 19. And then we put the given function value that we were looking at the first time. So I take that 3 and I substitute it in everywhere I had an x. Now, the left-hand side is just telling me what value I replaced x with. I don't have to do anything at all on this side. What I'm doing is using order of operations to evaluate the right-hand side down to one number. So what I look at first is my groupings. We can see inside these parentheses is just a number, so nothing to do. Next comes exponents. And so I'm going to take care of this 3 squared, which is 9. Plus 5, there's no other exponent, so that's all going to stay the same. My next order of business in the order of operations is multiplication or division. I have multiplication here. Remember, when there's no symbol, the implied operation is multiplication. So we're going to multiply the positive 5 and the positive 3, which is 15. And then finally, we evaluate addition and subtraction from left to right. So we're going to start on the left. 9 plus 15 is 24. And then we'll subtract 19. And 24 minus 19 is 5. Now, when you get to this step, that is the function value f of 3 equals 5. The last thing we need to do is write the corresponding ordered pair, because what we just did is we took an x value, we inputted it into the function and output a y value, which means that the ordered pair x is 3, y is 5 is on the graph of this function. And we'll talk more about that in detail at another time, but for now, we need to be sure that the most important part of this process is that when we're finished, we put the values back where they belong into an ordered pair. Remember, we input the x value, x, comma, output the y value, y, so 3, 5. Let's do that a couple more times. For number 2, we're given f of x equals 4x squared minus 15x plus 3. Determine f of negative 2. So again, we are going to take that negative 2 and substitute it everywhere we see an x. But before we put that number in, we're going to replace all of those x values with a parentheses. 4x squared minus 15x plus 3. And then I plop a negative 2 into all of those spots. Let me highlight them for us so they stand out. We can see where that happened. Negative 2, right, is what the value we're being asked to replace. Negative 2. Now, again, order of operations tells me to look at my groupings first. And inside those parentheses and those groups is just a number. So we're good to go on that. The exponent only belongs to what it's touching. So this squared is only touching the parentheses, so it's negative 2 squared. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, and then minus 15, parentheses, negative 2. plus 3. Now we will multiply. I have multiplication here and here. 4 times 4 is 16. And negative 15 times negative 2 is positive 30. Don't forget the plus 3. And then when I add from left to right, 16 plus 30 is 46. We'll add that 3 to come up with our final value of 49. But again, let's not forget to write the corresponding ordered pair, which would be negative 2, comma, 49. Remember, the input is the x value, negative 2, the output, 49, is the y value. So given f of x equals 4x squared minus 15x plus 3, f of negative 2 equals 49. Our corresponding ordered pair is negative 2, comma, 49. Just a quick note, if you'd like, you can absolutely use a calculator for this. Write this out and then enter it in exactly the way that you see it on your screen. So as long as you're using your parentheses appropriately, we'll enter this part into the calculator and we'll see that we get the exact same value spit right back out at us. So we're going to do 4 parentheses negative 2, negative 2. Squared goes on the outside of the parentheses, minus 15 parentheses negative 2, and then plus 3, and there we have it. Your calculator will follow the order of operations for you. You just have to be very careful that you use your parentheses and your signs appropriately, or you could get the wrong answer if you enter this in incorrectly. Make sure that you write it out first. All right, let's do this a little bit quicker. Given f of x equals negative x squared plus 3x minus 2, determine f of negative 5. So f of x equals negative x squared plus 3x minus 2. Again, I always use parentheses first and then plot my number in. That number this time is negative 5. So here we go. Again, this can go in the calculator exactly how you see it, but let's also feel good, if you want, about using order of operations with no calculator. We're going to exponents first. Negative 5 squared is 25. Don't forget that negative is out front. But negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. Everything else stays the same. Now we will multiply. Officially, this is a negative 1 times 25 is negative 25. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. And then minus 2. Let's add, subtract from left to right. Negative 25 minus 15 is negative 40. Subtract 2 is negative 42. So our ordered pair here is negative 5, comma, negative 42. All right, one more. Here we go. We want f of x equals negative 5x squared plus 7x plus 8. Determine f of 12. Again, I'm going to open the parentheses where the x's are before I put my value in. F of x equals negative 5x squared plus 7x plus 8. In those parentheses, we're going to put in the number 12 because we're evaluating for f of 12. Remember how we say this out loud. It's f of whatever's inside those parentheses, in this case 12, f of 12. All right, let's get at it. There's our 12s. Remember the left-hand side, I don't need to do anything to. We're just on the right-hand side using our order of operations. 12 squared is 144 plus 7 times 12 plus 8. All right, now let's check negative 5 times 144 times 144 is negative 720 plus 7 times 12 is 84 plus 8. And then we add, subtract from left to right, negative 720 plus 84 is negative 636. We will add 8 to get negative 628. So for this function, f of 12 is negative 628, and our ordered pair looks like this. Practice using the maze that's attached to your Canvas assignment. Submit that when you're finished and let us know if you have any questions tomorrow. Have a great day.